specialist for new home buyers. When you are new, you try harder. We go the extra mile to make it happen for you. We know everything a new home buyer needs to know. We will secure a home loan that suits your circumstances. This is a good time to buy your first home with grants, stamp duty, and build a discount savings of up to $100,000. Get your pre-approval now. Contact us on 0466 110 995 or visit blessmoney.com.au. Honey, let's get in touch with Bless Money.
Namaste and hello. This is Ryan's sister from Ryan's Sister Show. It's a show about things that matter. And today we are going to discuss about yoga and spirituality. And today I have two very special guests. Let me first introduce you to Deki Pradhan. Deki is actually a Buddhist by religion. I mean, she loves to practice the teachings of Buddha, yes. Right?
Yeah.
And that's the reason why actually I invited her to the show today, so that we can discuss with her about spirituality. And we have our second special guest, Smriti Vaidya. Smriti is already a well-known spiritual yoga instructor in the Nepalese community, and also I think she teaches other, diverse audience.
Yes, here in Australia. Yes.
Right? She actually has yoga in her DNA. I think she grew up in a yoga family, right?
Yes.
Her grandfather, I forgot his name.
My grandfather, Mr. Kirti Barmananda Joshi, he wasn't a yoga practitioner, but he was a meditation practitioner, and he was one of the well-known astrologer in Nepal.
Right.
So he used to teach me one of the breathing technique called pranayama.
Yeah.
But as a kid, I used to take it for granted.
Sure.
It was just like, I'm not going to waste my time meditating or breathing. I used to think in that way.
Right.
But still, as a respect, I used to sort of follow the breathing practice, what my grandfather used to teach me.
Okay.
But then, yes, like people say, things that happen in childhood can affect you till whatever age you are.
Yep.
So maybe that seed was in me, and however the life moved, I always sort of felt home in yoga. So, and here am I teaching yoga in Australia.
Right. Yeah, sure. So at the very young age, you actually tried to copy your grandfather.
For
you didn't take it very
practice,
seriously.
yes.
Yeah. And then now somehow you ended up becoming a professional instructor, right?
Yes.
I think in Sanskrit for a professional yoga instructor you call yogini. Can we call you yogini?
That's actually a really sort of a respected and deep title.
Yeah.
Usually those people who practice yoga, if it's a male, you call them yogi. If it's a female, then yogini. Yeah. But then, I would like to be called as maybe a yoga teacher. But you can call me yogini if you want. But that's a really respected and deep title. So thank you for giving me that title. Actually.
Thank you. Okay. So I think the way we should progress our discussion today is, first of all, Deki and I will try and ask you some questions about yoga, because we're both new to yoga,
Okay.
She has been doing a bit of meditation, but not really yoga.
No,
right?
yeah.
And I have never done yoga.
Okay.
So I'm a little bit skeptical of yoga, actually, to be honest. A lot of my friends, they do yoga and they tell me, okay, you should do yoga as well.
Okay.
But for me, first of all, I don't have enough time, and also maybe it's just an excuse.
We need to find time.
I actually use cooking as meditation,
Okay.
I love cooking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? So even if I get home at 8:30 in the evening, I tell my wife, you don't cook, please. I will do the cooking.
Oh, that's
I know he cooks really well. I've been honored to taste some of your cooking, so it's amazing. You're an amazing cook.
Thank you. So I spend about half an hour or so cooking, and when I cook with my heart, and I end up producing a good result, like tasty food.
Yes.
And everyone loves it. My daughters also love it. So, and I get kind of recognition and reward at the same time.
Yes, and I also believe, like, personally, I think when someone practices meditation, he or she, they don't have to sit down like this to practice meditation.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything that takes or gets or receive your undivided attention could be a meditation. So
Right.
for you, even if you're not meditating like this, your cooking is your unconscious meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people might like gardening as something healing, meditative for them. Some people might like painting. So maybe you may not know, but then unconsciously you are meditating and you are a little bit in that part of yoga.
Right.
So that's
Yeah,
a good
sure.
start.
Yoga by accident.
Yeah, I think it to be in a zone.
Yeah. So I think we will then probably ask you some questions about yoga. So you explain to us.
Okay, I'll try my best.
And then in the second stage of our conversation, we'll move on to spirituality, where all of us can contribute from our own experiences.
Okay.
Right?
Sounds good.
As you know, these days, our lives are so stressful, right? We got so many things to worry about, especially in Australia, because you don't get much helping hand, you don't have family, you have to do so many things. You have to work at home, you have to work at work, you have to look after your kids, and also because most of us, we do like desk job, we're sitting in the chair for the whole day, and by not moving, we're actually killing ourselves slowly. Doing
True, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
and we have like backaches, high blood pressure, sometimes we even get panic attacks, so there's a lot of issues that we have to deal with, and a lot of people say yoga is a solution, right?
Yes.
So yoga can actually help you recover from those problems without taking the medication. What do you think? What are the benefits of yoga and how
Okay.
it's done?
Yes. So to start with, since we talked about living this life, our life, let's say, in Australia, like without any other helping hands, even if let's say you have partner, you're doing everything by yourself. So since we start our conversation like this, let me start saying, how as a human being, we need space, whether we are with our partner or without our partner, whether we are working, whether we are living by ourselves, we need space, right, to function well as a human being. So the same technique in our body and our organs and each and every cell, they need space to function well.
Right.
Our heart, our lungs, our liver, our kidneys, you name it, they need space. Our joints, our muscles, they need space to function well. And that's what yoga gives. So in yoga, when you are twisting and turning in a different ways that you normally don't do, right?
Yep.
We normally don't even raise our hands and just stay there for 3 bits. We don't do that. But when you're practicing yoga, you come there on your mat, you are there raising your hands, breathing and staying there, let's say for 3 seconds. So simple postures like that, you are creating space unconsciously.
Right.
So when you are giving that to your body, whether you're working behind the desk or whether you are doing a labor job, hard work job, body-wise, mind-wise, yoga brings that sort of a balance in your life.
Okay.
Right.
Yes. So in terms of benefits, let's say you mentioned a little bit about high blood pressure and lower back ache and everything.
Yeah.
So with the postures of yoga, yoga doesn't have to be all challenging and difficult to be healing. The simple process of yoga, we start with what we call Surya Namaskar. So
Yeah.
there are certain steps in that Surya Namaskar. So that simple Surya Namaskar is amazing to heal your spine, your lower back ache. If you have a metabolism issue, digestion issue, that is healed.
Right.
Let's say if you have a high blood pressure, why does it happen? It happens because your mind is always working, ticking like this.
Yep.
So here comes yoga to sort of give that space in your ever working active mind, and then as a result, your heart rate, your breath. It simply takes a time to bring yourselves in the sense of ease. It sounds really like, oh, it's wow, cliche and all, but that's the result of yoga actually.
Okay.
And when I say it, I'm not just saying it just because I teach yoga. I'm also saying it because that is what I experienced in my body.
Right.
Right.
So that is what I experienced in my mind.
Yep.
I was a really hyper person, but I might be still hyper, but then I have calmed down. It's not because of age, this, that. We have seen so many people with like with certain age, but still hyper in their mind, or still
Maybe
sort
you're
of
just more
you know,
enthusiastic, not hyper.
yeah, so that's maybe you could be enthusiastic and active but not hyper.
Yeah.
So that sort of change I experienced in myself, and that's why I was like, okay, then yoga helps. So breathing or meditation helps. So if I can experience that and I'm feeling happy because I experienced that, I want everybody else to experience that too, sort of.
Sure. So is it because, like, you know, in yoga, there's a lot of breathing involved? Like you breathe in, breathe out. Like when you breathe in certain ways, like you're taking so much oxygen inside, and that oxygen is going to your each and every cell in your body, and that's what makes your body, you know, more responsive. Or
it recharges your body.
Recharges.
Yes, could be
because oxygen is energy, and your cells, they need energy.
Yes, so yes, even if you think about it, like in order to our body to function, we need air, oxygen, and because of the oxygen, that's like the nutrition, let's say, for our body to function well, right? So when you are giving yoga practice to yourself, we are moving with our breath. So when you are moving with our breath, like of course you are breathing, definitely you are always breathing, but then most of the time we don't even realize we are breathing, like but here in yoga we are sort of giving this attention to our breath, and maybe trying to lengthen that breath when you inhale, or lengthen that breath when you exhale, and then moving along with that length, your body and your breath moving in that sort of beautiful rhythm. So when that happens, of course your body is working, but also your mind is also working, because your mind is not thinking, oh, when I go back home I have to cook this food, or when I go back there I have to do this for my kids or my partner. No, be it for that 45 minutes or 1 hour, however long you're practicing yoga, when you're moving with your breath, your mind is there in this present moment. So unconsciously when we are giving that, of course it's affecting and healing, making our body stronger and better, but also our thoughts process and the way we react, respond to any situation, sort of. So this happens with practice. And just because you practice yoga, it's not that you're always like calm. It's nothing like that. Because we meet with lots of energies, and we have lots of sort of situation that might sort of challenge us to,
like vibes, negative vibes, positive vibes.
To react. But then, but with the practice of yoga, breathing, also meditation, which I believe should go hand in hand, yoga and meditation.
Correct.
It gives you this, let's say, awareness to not to waste your energy on something that's not important. Like if reaction is not, you respond, definitely you respond, but then you don't have to react to it.
Don't be reactive.
Okay. I think it's also one of the principles of yoga that, you know, the forgiveness, or let go thing, right? You don't react to certain situations. You just worry about things you can control. I think that's what
It's true. It's but then it's like forgiveness can be so sort of over sort of rated or exaggerated as well sometimes, unfortunately. What I believe is definitely you need to forgive, you know, because that's someone who hurt you, it's not because they hurt you because it was your fault, because it was their karma. So it's deep there. So it's their drawback and their inability to be a human being, to be honest, right? But then when you're practicing yoga or meditation, if someone comes and slaps you here, I don't believe in the system that you give your other cheek and say, slap me here.
Like
No.
what Mahatma Gandhi said.
No way.
Or
I don't want to.
Yeah.
People might have different opinion. That's their opinion. But in my opinion, I'm not someone who would say, you slap me here and I'll give you this. No. If someone slap you here, as a self-respect, as a self-love, you stand up to that and say, that was wrong.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a response. It's not the reaction that you slap him or her back.
Right.
You don't want that. But then you do have to stand up for yourself and speak up against any sort of violence or injustice and say that was wrong.
Yeah.
Just because you practice yoga or meditation doesn't mean that the other person will treat you the way you want and you tolerate that and you just keep on forgiving. No. That's not the teaching of yoga or meditation, because there is no self-love or self-respect in that if you do that.
Yeah, sure, I agree. Yeah, you have to fight for your right.
Yes.
I think,
I think when you do yoga or meditation, you have a certain, or you pass that energy on to the next person. So probably you have the ability to calm the other person as well. Yeah, most times
Yes.
there are people who get agitated, get angry. Like for instance, when she said, if somebody slaps you, you have to stand up for yourself. Yes.
Yeah.
But I think doing yoga or meditation, you're much calmer. You're able to think better, process better, rather than be a reactive person and just slap the other person.
Yes, yes. It depends also on the energy situation, but of course you don't want to fall down to their level of sort of unconsciousness.
Yeah.
But then you do have to sort of let that person's situation know that what happened was not right.
Correct.
I think instead of being so reactive and just going for eye for an eye, I think you can be more calm and then somehow make that person more guilty and realize their mistake. Right. Yes. I'll just give you an example. Okay. I actually had two puppies, like Jack Russell puppies, last year for my it was my daughter's request, and then they were barking so much, and then one of my neighbors got really irritated, and then he complained to the council, and then he also put a note in the letterbox saying, please quiet down your dog, And then we tried our best, we even bought the anti-barking collar and everything.
Aww.
But somehow he lost his patience. And one day when we were at work, he came to our compound, broke the gate.
Oh my God.
And he was trying to let the dog escape, but the dogs didn't escape, right?
Yeah.
So I was really, really upset too. I was just going to confront him, but I just thought maybe, instead of doing that, I will humiliate this guy on Facebook, use the social media. And we have this community, forum. And then I wrote in the the forum that this is what happened. I didn't mention the person's name or anything, and I said if you have any anger towards us, if you had the courage, you could have knocked on the door and confronted us. You don't want to let the poor dogs escape. And then
Wow.
did you have a little bit pity on the dogs and something like that? I wrote in a bit emotional statement.
Yeah.
And then there were like 150 or so many comments there, like everyone was bashing this guy.
Oh.
And I later again I feel guilty. I felt so guilty. I thought maybe he might commit suicide or something. And then I just wrote a message there saying, I forgive you. Just learn from your mistakes. Please go and get your blood pressure checked, or or do an anger management course. And then there was one of my neighbors, she commented there saying, how can you be so cool?
I think that was even for your neighbors behavior wise, to go into someone's house and to break the door, and that's sounds like a criminal offense.
Yeah, it is.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. You should report it to police. Which I didn't do. Yeah. So you guys think I did the right thing by putting this person in the spot and kind of humiliating him in the forum without actually telling his name,
Yeah.
I was able to do this because I know that person is in the forum as well. He will definitely know who everyone's talking about.
What would you have done different? Like if you hadn't done that, what else could you have done in a situation like this?
Yeah, if I wasn't able to control myself, I would have just gone and broken his gate as well. I would have just called the police and made it a very big issue.
I think that's natural because pets are so close to us, and what your neighbor did actually, that was, like I mentioned earlier, that was not right.
Yeah.
That sounds like a criminal offense actually. But then maybe when I think about it, of course you would like to express your emotions and how you felt, and then you would like that support saying, okay, that was wrong from like other people as well, because that was wrong what the neighbor did.
Yeah.
But maybe in a different aspect, like in terms of responding and reacting, like maybe you could have, you don't need to, or you don't have to if you don't want, but maybe other option could be, maybe if not only you, anywhere, or even us, anyone in that situation, maybe could have gone to that neighbor and say, let that person know like what he or she did was wrong.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely a criminal offense to come into someone's home uninvited and break the door, and even more to hope for your pets who are your kids.
Yeah.
Let them escape. So that's wrong.
Yeah.
So maybe you could have gone to that neighbor and say like, hey, what you did was wrong. I'm not too sure if you're aware that what you did was wrong, and I could take this to police and I could charge you for this.
Yeah.
Right? And we can have court case and we can go on and on about this.
Yes.
But then I know it was my mistake. I tried my dog to calm down. Like, it's not that I didn't pay attention to your request, but we could maybe behave more in a humanly way, and I don't want you to again come into my house, try to break the door or let that dog go. If this happens again, like you'll be reported.
Right.
Maybe you could have said that instead of going directly to Facebook.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure, but then it's not. I'm not saying something is
It's not right or wrong. Yeah.
It's our, it's our
We're all
right.
human beings.
Yes, it's our right to express.
Yeah.
But maybe the other option could be that, like, let that person know. You could have gone to like more serious. You could have made it more serious, this one actually, because like, of course, that was against the law.
Probably, yeah.
But
that could have been a
was,
warning for him as well, so that he wouldn't do it again.
yes. But it was kindness in you, I guess, like that you didn't want to take that step and go to the police and all that. That was part of the kindness in you as well.
Yes.
That's it's obvious. But yes, maybe other option could be that.
Sure. Yeah, I do agree. But at the same time, I felt happy that I did this.
Yeah, and you forgave him.
Yeah, and I forgave him too. In the end, I told him via Facebook, indirectly saying, like, whoever you are, if you're having such anger management issues, you might do serious harm, not like to your family,
to himself as well,
or to himself,
exactly.
So please go and get some anger management course done.
No, Ryan, I really know you as a very compassionate, passionate person. So you did the right thing. You've got a very kind heart, and
thank
I think
you.
And I'm happy both of you, your neighbor and you, I mean, your Facebook friends.
Yeah.
So there is friendship somewhere.
Yeah. Sure.
You're in the same forum.
Right, but not that close, like just in the same, we live in the same neighborhood.
So you're cordial now. Yeah. So that's a good outcome.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So talking about yoga further, I think like you previously said, like there's so many benefits you can get from yoga, right? But is it scientifically proven? Like, that's one thing I wanted to ask, because like, even in the field of medicine, like a lot of medicines don't work, but it works because of placebo. People believe in it. Is it a similar effect with yoga too? Because you believe in so much,
yes.
and then it works. You know?
Yes, okay. So to answer your question, is it scientifically proven? Yes. Even if even now, if you Google it, is yoga scientifically proven for health benefits? There will be so many results saying
Correct,
yes.
Okay.
There are so many documents, even in Netflix or YouTube, like the benefits of yoga, like health benefits.
Yeah.
So in terms of health benefits, the placebo effect is like you're thinking. Mind is so powerful. Like mind is more powerful than body, is what I believe.
Right.
You know.
Very true.
But when you are sort of thinking, or let's say manifesting something, or trying to think in a positive way, there will be some like positive effect. Because the way you think, somehow the energy works in that way, sort of, right?
Okay.
But in terms of yoga, because we are not only thinking, we are sort of practicing and we are moving. We are not just okay, I'll be standing up and then I'll raise my hands, not doing nothing. We are actually practicing that movement by standing up or raising our hands or folding forward. So when you are moving like so, definitely the joints, the muscles, the organs, it's working all together with you. So definitely there are health benefits. You know, and this has been proven, yes, by science as well, in terms of actually they actually had conducted this study of more than 40-year-old, and one group of 40-year-old practiced yoga, and other group of 40-year-old, they didn't practice yoga. Yoga means the physical yoga practice, right? So in that group, the group who practiced yoga had no blood pressure or low or average blood pressure, compared to the group who didn't practice yoga and the blood pressure was high, heart disease, cholesterol, you name it.
Right.
So even it's proven like this, but then again, when you are practicing, you also sort of have to practice because you want to practice. If you haven't practiced yoga before and then I'm saying it, there is a scientifically proven, or this happened, and you don't practice because I said it, you practice because you want to practice, and then the result will be even more faster, let's say.
Sure. You got to believe in it first.
Yes, because you're doing it not because other people said it, be it teacher or guru said it, you did it because you said it to yourself. Like, I will do it. I want to do it. You know?
Sure. And also, like even like chiropractors or physiotherapists, they say there's a saying that motion is lotion. So
motion is lotion.
So that's the motion is the best lotion. Like if you're moving, joints, you don't have to apply lotion to fix your ankle or knee or your back, your neck. So maybe same principle applies to yoga too, because you're stretching your body. You doing a lot of movements.
Yes, it does. But then again, you have to be mindful when you're practicing yoga that you're practicing with the right alignment. So movement is medicine, or motion is lotion. But if some posture is giving you pain, there is a good pain and bad pain again. So when I'm saying pain, in a bad pain, if there is sharp shooting pain somewhere in your body when you're giving any movement or posture, that means your body is saying, please come out of it mindfully or slow down or something. But let's say there is a broad achy sensation, sort of pain that you don't mind experiencing, or you're holding on to certain posture and you're shaking like this, it's okay. Only the sharp shooting pain is not okay. So even when you're moving, if it's painful, then that movement may not be medicine. You know what I mean? So when you're practicing yoga, if you practice with right alignment, it's amazing. We don't want to practice yoga and then when you're 60 or whatever year old, you'll be like, I used to practice yoga before, but now I can't. Like, we don't want that. If we are practicing yoga, mind and body, we are practicing because we want to be healthy, happy throughout. the life. Not only when you are 30s or 40s or 20s and 50, 60, you're like, oh, I can't move. No, that's not the goal of yoga.
Right.
Yes. So when you're
so you have
moving,
to make it like a part of your lifestyle.
Yes, part of the lifestyle, definitely. You don't need to practice 1 hour if you, let's say, if you have a really busy schedule, but at least can you give 15 minutes of movement, or at least can you give 3 minutes of breathing? You know, that's how, like, sort of, if you really are loyal towards the good health, then at least that is how much time I would request everyone to take out from their busy schedule. And also when you're practicing, I would request everyone to practice with right alignment. So where to place your hand, your knees, how far you want to extend, and all that you have to be mindful of. So that's why when I did my training here, I loved it, because back home I used to practice yoga, definitely, but then if you compare, let's say, the body type of back home, I'm from Nepal, so I'll say from the point of view of the Nepali people. Usually from Nepal, we are so used to sitting down cross-legged, right? So we are so used to sitting down on the floor or this and that, so we have lots of space in our hips. So when you have space in your hips, you are creating space in your lower back and shoulders as well. So hips, shoulder, lower backs always sort of supports one another. But when you compare here, let's say people who were born or brought up here, who are not used to having lots of hip opening, who are used to sitting on a chair most of the time, their hips are closed. So when I did the training here, the yoga movement or the yoga sequencing or the practice that I was trained to design was also to keeping different body type in mind. You know, so one posture might look different in all of us, because we all have different shape, size, bone structure, you name it. So when I did the training here, that was amazing, because I got to learn how to design the sequencing for different body types, and also how to design the sequencing keeping any sort of, let's say, injuries we might have that in our mind, and also most importantly how to practice with right alignment, so that we don't sort of put weight only on one part of our body, or put too much weight on the knees and then end up sort of damaging our tissue rather than building the strength in them.
It's sounding a little bit like complicated.
Because
so,
I never thought about yoga, because I thought it was just a matter of opening a YouTube video and learning yoga. But it seems to me now that you really need a yoga instructor to have the right alignment, at least the initial stages, and then you can start doing it at home.
Again, I would love people to come practice yoga with me, but then I'm not saying, oh, because I'm a teacher, I'm saying, oh, you need a teacher. It's nothing like that. Even out of my experience, I would suggest people to practice with a teacher, because so that you have someone to help you and guide you with the posture and what you can do or what you can't do, or what are the modification you might use, or if you're forcing it too much, how you can relax and all that while you're doing the posture. Then after a few classes, you have your choice and you can practice on your own, because you know what to do and what not to do. So if you are new to yoga, I would definitely suggest anyone to practice with a teacher first. Even not even YouTube, because when you're practicing YouTube, there's no one to look after you and say like, oh, okay, unless like you practice with the YouTube and then you put a camera beside you and then you watch later in that camera if you were doing it properly. If you want to practice all by yourself, maybe you can do that, so that you can see if it's matching the shape and the movement. But keeping it short, yes, if you have a teacher, let's say, he or she can definitely help you to not only to make you be familiar with the posture, yoga posture, but also how to do that posture correctly, how much to hold, and what sort of breathing are you doing when you're holding on to posture, and what about your thoughts, like all that the teacher will be able to guide you with.
there's so many things you have to take care of, like when doing yoga.
Exactly.
There's also chance of injury, or you could end up doing overdoing yoga too sometimes, right?
Yes.
Or not benefiting from him if you're not doing it right.
Yes. So like someone like me, I used to go to gym when I was a bit younger. You end up spending like an hour, 2 hours in the gym, and then you can't even move for 2 days, because all your muscles are so sore. And I think that wasn't the right way to do it. But in those days when you're young, you just want to get six pack as soon as possible, which is like you never achieve that dream.
Yes.
Does that happen in yoga too? You overdo yoga, and then there's some.
Yes, it's so possible. It's because sometimes when you're doing yoga, you build that strength in your body, and then you end up doing certain posture which you thought you can never do it. For example, let's say headstand, or any sort of inversions, or you see other people doing it, but then you think like, I can never do it. But then there you're practicing yoga, and then one day you can do it. So the fact that you feel that strength in your body, and then you become more and more like, oh my God, what if maybe I can do this as well, maybe I can do this as well, and then you might be, it might be a wrong word, but you might be slightly addicted to keep on practicing a little bit more to build that strength in your body. But mostly the goal of yoga is definitely you will be stronger. Those who practice yoga, they might look lean, but then don't mess with them. They are strong. So they might look lean, but then you feel that strength inside you. But the goal of yoga is not only to have that strength in your body, but also your breath and your mind. So when you are sort of seeing that improvement, you might have the tendency to overdo it. Yes. But we need to bring that balance, of course, and and with awareness, and with understanding that too much of everything is not good. You'll be able to bring that balance.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So
we got to join her classes.
Definitely. I think we should. You talk with so much passion. You're really passionate about this thing.
Yeah.
You must be really good at your teaching. Yeah.
Yes. I have received good feedback. Yes.
Right.
I'm actually passionate because, like I mentioned before, I saw that changes in me, and we all have stories. Let's say.
Yeah. Can you share some of your success stories? Some of your students who've
benefited and who loved it.
Changed their lives in some ways.
Well, I have lots of sort of stories like that. Like some of the when I teach in studios or gym, usually they come after the class and they are like, oh, I love your classes. I couldn't do this posture, especially twisting, and then now I can do the twisting and certain posture that I thought I couldn't do it. One of my member, let's say, her daughter had I don't want to say names, but then her daughter had a little bit of car accident. And then there was an issue in the spine, and then she was sort of not really confident in doing the yoga, because in yoga you do so many postures, and then she was a bit scared if that posture was right for her body or spine or no, because of the injuries. But then again, like I mentioned before, you can modify certain posture if you have injuries, or depending on your body structure and
so
type.
You plan the whole yoga
sequence before I go teach.
That's awesome.
Yes. So that lady who had injuries, when she went to the doctor for the checkup, so her mom used to come to my class. Then her mom said to her daughter, give it a go, the one who had an accident. So she comes to my class, and when she went to the doctor said, I don't know what you're doing, but your body is coming back to its shape. So continue doing what you're doing.
Wow,
so
that's amazing.
To me and say oh, I'm so thankful to you. I was really scared. There are certain posture called down dog posture. There are certain posture called upward, which is lovely for your spine. So even simple posture like that could be really healing. And other success stories I would like to share, which was surprising for me as well, because usually when I teach yoga, like I used to think maybe for senior citizen, the benefits may not be as visible as those who are maybe younger.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then there was one participant in my class who was 70 something, and I used to teach her yoga in a group, and she mentioned that before she couldn't like sort of lean or fold forward to tie her shoelace.
Okay.
But then with the yoga, this happened after like a year or so again.
That's
it doesn't
amazing.
happen fast.
Right.
It takes time. So she mentioned to me that she was now able to fold and tie her shoelace. So how amazing it is. It doesn't matter how old you are, your body can create space, your body can heal. So why wouldn't anyone give this a go? Like,
Absolutely.
you know?
Yeah. So it's so amazing that you're changing so many people's lives as well, you know, and touching so many lives and making a difference in their lives with your
Yes, that's what it's, because when I teach yoga, it's not an easy job, to be honest, because you have to be healthy yourself. You have to design that sequencing, what you want to teach, what comes after what. Then you have to go there and then teach that class, and then you have to be careful of the various sort of members, like from the beginners to intermediate to all the body issues or injuries or healthy, that you have to keep all that in mind. But then the how do we say, like the effect after teaching that class or something, it's very fulfilling.
It's a noble
rewarding.
job.
Yeah,
like, you know.
It's very
very.
I mean, I think you're the best job in the world. Like, you know, you get to teach what you're so passionate about.
Exactly.
And
You'll never work a day in your life.
You'll never work a day in your life.
That's what I felt. That's what I
and
felt.
you get income as well.
Yeah.
Yes, not like to be honest, there are always sort of room to grow. Like not like, oh, I can be lavish, but then no complaint.
Right.
Like so, yes.
Sure. Like, it's sustainable. Like, you can,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're
so
really
much,
entrepreneurial, like, you know, you can capitalize on your skills. You know, you can go global. Do, you know, YouTube channels. You know,
That's
you can make a lot of money.
It's amazing.
That's the thing, because the best thing about yoga is also it's a global career. You know,
And it's more popular in the Western countries than in India and Nepal.
No, it's growing in India
it's
and Nepal
growing,
as well.
yes,
Yeah,
it's growing
people
in
are
India,
becoming
Nepal as
conscious
well.
now that it's
like,
homegrown.
Yes,
Yoga is
they're
homegrown.
teaching yoga even in primary schools.
That's
You know, I
it's
have
good.
a niece, like, you know, she's just like in kindy. She's just 5 years old. And then she's a little bit chubby, and I was just trying to make her feel good one day. You know, I told her, Maya, you're looking a bit slim today. and she said, I've been doing yoga these days. You know? And I asked her, since when? She said, since this morning.
So sweet.
Yeah. So,
Wow,
like, you know,
that's
can you actually use yoga to lose weight too? Like, for a person obese like me, you know, is it a special yoga to lose weight?
Okay, yoga can help you lose weight, but then what I would say is, like, the yoga practice should always go hand in hand with the nutrition, a type of food you're giving to yourself as well, right? So when I say losing weight, of course, like, everybody want to lose weight, like, but that it doesn't matter like what weight you are. It doesn't matter. But let's say you have to, like, when you're taking the staircase or you're walking, you are panting, you have to like take a rest. Oh, I can't walk. Then that means your body is saying, please do something. But let's say you are certain body weight, but then there's no issue in your body, your health, and you're okay, then that's fine. Doesn't matter what weight you are, you have to be healthy.
Yes, I think the biggest thing is, like, in our society or in, you know, our community, we think like weight घटाउनु पर्छ, all that. I think they're focusing the wrong things. Being healthy is more important than being slim and trim, because a person who is really skinny, maybe she's not the healthiest person. So I think
that's what I tell my friends. You know, you can't compare a jackal with a lion. Being lion. You know? It's like everyone has a different body type. You know? So, you know, you can't fat shame someone, or you gotta be healthy.
Just be healthy. I think it is.
But having said that, I'm already getting a lot of warning signs. You know, I always have this it's called Achilles tendonitis, like back of my heel. It hurts because of overweight when I do a lot of walking.
Yes,
and
okay.
sometimes you might get this acid reflux. These things like happened to me recently. So I think it's time for me to do something.
Yeah, like Smriti said, yoga with your diet plan would probably work.
Yes. Like very simple, easy way, let's say. Of course, yoga builds that strength in your core and helps to tone this and that is there. But let's say if you're bringing your nutritional diet as well, the very simple way to maybe help our organs to give that time to digest or process our food is to eat at least 3 hours or at least 2.5 hours before you go to sleep.
Right.
Like we don't want to eat and then like 1 hour and then you go to sleep. No, because it takes at least 3 or 4 hours for our food to digest, right? So imagine you're taking dinner, you do yoga, this and that, but then you end up eating like a lot of food or however food you're eating, and then you go to sleep, like there is no gap, like right away you go to sleep. Then you wake up in the morning and you right away go eat breakfast, like heavy breakfast maybe. So your organs is not getting chance to digest that food you consumed the night before. And here you are eating next morning again. So we don't want that. We want space. So it's all about space actually, just like yoga is about creating space in us, body, mind, soul, spirit. Like the same thing, our organs need space to function well. So very simple way to, let's say, to minimize if we feel okay, I need to control my weight, is to see how you can give some time from your dinner and your sleep time. Give at least 3 hours if possible, or 4 hours better, and then go to sleep, have that gap.
That's a big problem for me because I get on at 8, cook dinner, and then have dinner at 9, and then watch TV, and I'm already asleep while watching TV on the sofa.
Yes, it's not only you, Brian. Most of us, most of the people are.
Same, my husband also. He's the same. Like he's such a foodie. Like he loves food.
And I realize he's put on a bit of weight too recently.
He has. So, like I was saying, have the same. You don't have to change your food. You just have smaller quantities to start with. I know, and then maybe like Smriti mentioned, eat before, like 4 hours before you go to sleep. I think that's a good thing. I will tell my husband that.
4 hours. If it's too much, 4 hours, then see if you can start with 2 hours at least.
Start
Right. And how about like veg and non-veg diet? Like when you practice yoga, is it recommended that you follow vegetarian diet rather than
it's a
non-vegetarian?
personal choice actually. So just because someone is practicing yoga and he or she eats meat, it's not he's a bad person. It's nothing like that. It's a personal choice, right? But again, what I believe is, let's say if you do have to eat meat, see if you can cut it down. Like see if you can eat maybe once a month, or once a week if you're like really a meat lover. So don't try to bring meat in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like 7 days a week, morning, afternoon, evening, like try to see if you can bring more veggies rather than meat. Yes, but if just because you practice yoga, it doesn't mean that you have to be vegetarian. It's nothing like that. It's a personal choice.
Yeah, sure. And I think once you turn vegetarian, you will look for all these options. And actually, there are a lot of options.
There's so many options, and tasty too. Are you a vegetarian?
I'm not a vegetarian, but I don't crave for meat either. But let's say sometimes my body. If my body says, okay, I want to eat chicken, then my practice is, okay, I'll buy chicken, and then I have this prayer that I say, thank you for sacrificing yourself for me. And then I sort of, so it's because, I don't know, it's, just say thank you for,
That means you usually believe in non-violence and, killing.
Yes.
It's good.
Yeah.
So you eat
should
meat
stop
only if
eating
you
meat.
have to.
If my body sometimes, because sometimes your body just knows what you need or something.
Yeah.
So sometimes if I have this craving for, I want to eat chicken and rice.
Right.
Then I'll go buy chicken and make chicken, but then I say thank you to that chicken.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
You're such an amazing human being. I'm so happy that I got to meet you.
No, same here.
Yeah,
Same here.
and I'm really of admiration of your work as well. I really admire the work you do, and I would really actually, Ryan, do you want to join in class?
Yeah, sure.
Our classes?
Yes, so I used to teach online yoga, and then we had this break for Christmas. So end of this January or starting of February, I'm going to start the online classes again. So
Okay.
I'm happy to send information to you, the timing.
Yeah.
But you also do it
pricing
in classroom
and all.
classes?
Yes, so I go and teach in the classrooms,
Which
studio.
area?
And is there a studio here in the city
Yeah.
or something?
I have not hired a studio because
Okay.
of the COVID and all
Okay.
that stopped.
Yeah.
So mostly my personal class is online, or if some corporation is watching this show and they want to give a corporate yoga a go, I teach corporate classes as
Right.
well. If there is some university out there watching this show and they want to give yoga a go,
Class,
then I
yeah.
go teach universities as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I've asked a lot of questions to Smriti, and she was so passionate. Like I didn't notice the time fly by.
Yeah, we
already
enjoyed
spent like more than an hour, I guess. And we already in half through our program. Halfway through our program, we have to talk about spirituality still. So I think Deki, I would like to hand over the questioning part to you.
Yeah.
Maybe if you have any questions about yoga,
Yeah.
please
So
ask Smriti.
again, I've been watching you throughout the show, and you have this aura in you, like you have a glow in your face. Is it because of yoga?
I would like to say that. Well, thank you for saying that. Actually, I didn't know I had that glow. Maybe it could be because of yoga, because when you're doing yoga, it's again the same thing, because I think you're creating space and you're allowing that oxygen to flow, and then at the same time my practice, I balance it out with good food as well. I drink lots of water. I try to stay away from drama, let's say. And maybe because of that, could be the glow coming.
Thank you, and we were really excited to join the class actually. So
Yes, I would
thank you.
I would love it if you could both give it a go and see how you
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah,
Sure.
we should give it a go. Yeah.
Do you
I'm going
have,
to
like-
recommend my friends too.
Thank you. Thank you.
You do any trial classes before I commit to a 12-month
Yes, no
program?
worries. Yes, one trial class.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. So I'll give it a try for sure.
Yeah.
For me, I think I really admire yoga, and from today our discussion also, I think you actually converted me. I really want to do it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Good to know
No,
that.
really.
Good to know that.
Before I always used to take it as a joke, Like even my elders, like when I go back home, they all do Ramdev,
Oh.
Kapal Bhati or something.
Yeah.
Olom Bilom, I don't know what exactly called. And my Fuwazu, my uncle, he's already in his 80s, and he was telling me oh, you become so obese, you should do Ramdev, it's gonna really help you. And I just told him oh no, I don't have time for Ramdev. He said, okay, I'll give you a DVD of Ramdev. You should watch the DVD of Ramdev and practice yourself. And I said, I don't want Ramdev. If you have Kamdev DVD, give it to me. I don't have time for Ramdev. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, so the yoga, sorry, I cut you.
Yeah.
The yoga, we will be practicing if we are joining it. I respect gurus, all the gurus, but I don't follow any gurus.
Yeah.
I of course would love to hear the teaching, this and that. But then the yoga that we'll be doing is called Hatha Vinyasa Yoga. So there will be proper sort of body moving as well, and it's not only one posture after other, one posture after other. There will be a certain kind of flow from easy to slightly challenging posture, like we'll be moving in that sort of, let's say, pattern or rhythm. So yes, if in terms of, again, thinking about only, let's say, body, losing weight or this and that, Hatha Vinyasa yoga. There are so many yoga out there, but Hatha Vinyasa is one of the popular, also Ashtanga yoga, one of the popular to build that strength, or let's say to lose weight or tone, or to bring that overall sense of enthusiasm in your body and mind. It's amazing, Hatha Vinyasa. So that's what we'll be practicing.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. I look forward
Give
to
it a go.
Yeah. Now we can move on to the second phase of our discussion. As you know, yoga and spirituality go hand in hand. Whereas yoga is about re-engineering your inner body. Spirituality is more about the outer environment. How you live in the society, right? And how you can be a good citizen. Right. I think there are a lot of principles of yoga, which is actually the social values. Like, you need to be righteous, like have morality, you got to be honest, right? You got to have self-respect, basically not harm other people, do unto others what you expect others to do unto you. And I think there are other values as well. Can you add some of the other principles?
In terms of yoga, we have what we call yama, niyama, pranayama, asana. We have all these going on in terms of the rules of yoga, let's say. But if we are talking about spirituality, so what I would like to make clear is yoga or spirituality, they are not religion. People might get confused, like spirituality is a religion or yoga is a religion. Yoga is not a religion, spirituality is also not a religion. But it's based out of
Hindu religion. But it's not religion.
No, it's not a religion. Every
way of life.
Yes, way of life. That's it. Every religion, be it Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity.
Yeah, even some people say Hinduism is not a religion; it's just a way of life as well.
So Buddhism stemmed out of Hinduism, so it is just a way of life.
Yes,
exactly.
So they all have like the teaching, and the teaching, if you think about it, the teaching is just do good and receive good or something like that, right? Just be a good person. That like respect, love, kindness. That's the teaching, like of all the religion. So spirituality is that. Spirituality, what we believe in all the religion, there is a goodness in you. Even the bad person, like the spiritual aspect of it, even that bad person has a good person inside that person, which is sleeping. And the spirituality is the way to awaken that goodness which is maybe sleeping at the moment.
And every human being is a spiritual being, basically. So it's all about how you utilize or do things in your daily life. And some is influenced by religion, some they just want to be a good person. It's not dictated by religion or Buddhism. They do to some extent, but there are other people who are not Buddhists. They could be spiritual as well, or Hindus being spiritual, or even Christians being spiritual. So it's a very wide scope of people who are spiritual. So.
Deki, actually, I wanted to ask you a bit about your current job. I think you are also in a very good job where you get to change people's lives. You get to help really vulnerable people, right? So I think your job requires a lot of patience, compassion, and also you being someone who follows Buddhism. I think you can tell us a lot about spirituality as well. Like how do you motivate yourself in your job with spiritual, values?
Okay. So first of all, thank you for having me here. I'm not an expert in spirituality. I just live a very simple life, and I just wanted to put it out there that COVID actually was a turning point in my life. COVID really changed my life. So I got a job in this really a wonderful family-owned business called Afia Care Services. So we look after the disability sector. So we provide services to the disabled people in the community, and I love my job. I, love that I have this opportunity to look after or serve or even assist, help, whatever you can say, the vulnerable people in the society, in the community. And all my life I've worked, I think, to make a living, and I felt this is my opportunity. I found a purpose, and I really want to give back and contribute to the community, however small way I can.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I think you found the ideal job that matches your personality and your career goals, right? So yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Working in that sector, you know, I've met some of my friends who say that it's very difficult to get rewarded. You get rewarded with satisfaction.
Correct. No, it's very challenging.
But sometimes, when you're working with people with Alzheimer or dementia or autism, they don't know that you're actually trying to help them.
Yeah.
So so you got to be really strong, right?
Correct. Yes.
You don't do this job just for money.
Yes.
Because I've heard stories where they come back from work crying. Sometimes you get slapped. Sometimes you get spat at.
Correct.
So how do you?
So when I started this job, I worked as a care coordinator. So essentially what we do is we provide services to the disabled people. So I sit there at the office, call the carers, and I tell them, this is the service you need to do. You need to go to this address. So it's all about, educating the carers and being there, being supportive of the carers. So I've always advise them that it's not when somebody's angry, it's not you they're angry at, because of this. They have no idea, because they're going through so many difficulties because of the disability they have. So it's not personal. So it's all about trying to educate the carers and just explaining to them that it's not you, and try and explain to them that you're there for the support, you're supporting them. So it's very important that we care for the carers as well. So what we do is, after the service, we always call them and say, how did you go? And if they had a situation like this, I would have a good 10-15 minutes chat, and then just keep them make them feel supported by us. So it is very challenging. Some of them, we go through very intensive training for the carers as well. They go and most of them are qualified. So yes, it is very challenging. Yeah.
So you have to sometimes act like their mom.
Yes. Yeah.
Just try and
but people who are in this
empathy.
People who are in this field, they're all very compassionate people. They want to do it for the love of the job. There are some students who do it because they have to, but at the end of the day, they have to be compassionate, because they won't last long in the industry.
Exactly.
So I think that's the one thing important.
But for people like us, who work in business or in sales, marketing, in corporate world, the life is so competitive, and there's so much greed, and then there's lack of trust, you can't really survive if you just be too compassionate or too truthful. I would like to ask Smriti first. What do you think? Is it possible to survive in this competitive world being fully truthful, or you're allowed to, lie sometimes?
Okay, that's again. Depends on what kind of person you are. It is possible to survive being truthful here, because I think that the genuineness is so hard to find these days. So sometimes when you meet someone with that genuine, maybe other people don't know how to react, but you don't lose that light or that that truthfulness or genuine that you are made of, just because you need to survive in this world. You don't lose that part. You try and not lose that part, of course. But then the level of truthfulness, or how much truth you want to give out there, it's your choice. But it's not difficult. Yes,
Okay.
it also depends on like the emotional strength that you have.
Yeah.
Sometimes we might be the slave of emotions, let's say. It could be the bad word again, the slave word. But then we might be offended quickly, or we might be defensive too quickly. If you can be aware of that sort of emotional health that you have, I think it's not easy, let's say. We can survive regardless of the chaos out there.
Right.
Because even like we practice yoga, meditation, like, and someone lives in the jungle, that's not easy either. Like, you have to survive on your own. But the fact that you can practice yoga, meditation, and you can survive in this chaos jungle, that's the best part. That's the challenge, that if you can do this, like, amazing.
So maybe, if you have to tell a lie, then just don't say anything, just keep quiet. Right?
Depends on
if
the
you don't have anything good to say about anyone, then just keep quiet.
If you don't
that's
have,
true.
Yes, that's true. If you have if you don't have a good thing to say about that person, let karma decide on that person, or maybe law decide on that person if that person crosses the line. But then you don't want to sort of bring that sort of negativity from you, and then worse, you don't want to gossip about that person to someone else and all that. But,
I just want to talk a bit more about this, building trust issue, and being truthful and having that, moral compass, right? When you look in the society, it seems like, those people who actually are not so truthful end up becoming millionaires and really successful, right? They're the ones who make a lot of money, make friends, have a happy family, looks like, but like, can you judge the success of a person by like how many business or property he or she owns?
No, that's a straightforward answer. No. Some people who might have like certain job title, a certain brand of car, or the house or whatever, and then they have this like snobbish attitude. That's not happiness. Like, that's surfaced, but then deep inside, you can see the way they behave, or the way they maybe treat other people or something. You can see that person is not happy. Because if you are a happy being, or let's say good being, good could be broad, but let's say if you are like, to put it simple, a human being, you won't be able to, or you won't even think about putting other people down, or misleading or mistreating other people, or how we have in Nepali, we say khutta tanne process, of like, you don't want to like pull someone down, or like be jealous or gossip or put that person down and you be on top of that. Like, you don't think of those kind of thing if you are genuinely a happy or human being, because that's how your upbringing was.
Right.
We have this term called in Sanskrit sanskara. So that's your samskara, you know. You are brought up in that way, and that's what you will project. Those people like with little bit of, let's say, title or money, and they pretend to be, I'm the best. It's actually pitiful. Like, if someone thinks just because they have certain job or money or car, they are better than other person, then that person needs yoga and meditation more than rest of us.
Okay. So you agree 100%?
I absolutely agree. Success, to some people is different. It's not monetary. It's not always monetary. It could be somebody that, like being good at your work, or being able to contribute back to the community in any way, in any capacity. So if somebody is rich and it's not guaranteed that they will be happy.
Right.
Money won't buy happiness. To anybody. So I totally agree with you what you say.
Sure. Yeah, and I also feel the same. Actually, I've seen some of my relatives. They become really rich, and then as they say, it's only always like lonely at the top.
Yeah.
So when you become rich and your friends are not that rich, you lose your friends too.
Yeah.
And you go out looking for another friend who is at your level, but those friends are there only for the money, only for good times.
Yeah.
The real friends are the ones who are with you at the bad times.
Exactly, that's true.
Yes,
Yeah.
but having said that, it's not that money is not important. Money
Yeah.
is important,
Is
but then
necessary, yeah.
yes, but then the that's not the goal of life.
Yeah.
It's not the be all and
Yes,
end all.
that's-
Yeah,
yes.
you need to survive. You need to have a comfortable,
Yes.
lifestyle. But to be able to, I think, to give back in any capacity you can, I think is really good. Like even back home, like I know a lot of people, they donate a lot of things when you go back home.
Yeah.
That's success to me. That guy is a successful person to me because you were able to help somebody. Like she's touching the lives of so many people.
Yeah.
For me, that is a successful woman, So to be able to help somebody in any capacity,
Yeah,
or to be
exactly.
happy in somebody else's happiness, that
You don't have to be
success.
rich to help,
No, you don't have
And
to
actually,
be
in
rich.
fact, poor people donate more money than the rich.
Yes.
You know that?
Yeah, and that makes such a difference. Yeah.
Because the poor people can empathize with the poor people.
Yeah.
They know that, poor people, they need money like
Yeah.
I do. So
Yeah.
they at least donate some money every now and then.
Yeah.
But the rich people, they don't know what the poor people feels.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes they donate, but it's not actually donation, it's a transaction. They do it for their own benefit, like sponsorship.
Yes. Yeah.
They will do something and they will expect something in return. Right.
That is the main thing. So in life, right, if you do something, you should never expect. Because the moment you start expecting, then you be disappointed, and then you be angry, and that's what stems all the bad thoughts.
Yes.
So if you can help somebody without any expectation, that's the best way to give somebody, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah. Even a little bit. Like you don't have to give everything, just a little bit. What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's actually, I read a book. It's about giving. I think I forgot the name of the title of the book, but the lesson of the book was that the givers get more in return.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's what you give. Like my mom used to say, what you give, you get double fold.
Yes.
Right.
So if you if I help you today, you will say something good about me to you, and maybe you will have that good impression of me, and you will try and help me. And that's how it's multiply effect.
Yes.
Correct.
Right.
It is
Or also
domino
there was
effect.
this one, I think advertisement, very creative ad. How like the one person helps the other character of that ad, and that
Pay it forward.
person,
Pay it forward,
so
yeah.
they paid forward, and then
Yeah.
like the happiness, how the helping hand it carries on.
Yeah.
So
It
if
stretches to so many people.
yes.
So I think when you do something, I don't expect anything. When you do something nice to the other person, and this person will do. I think the experience of if you do nice to somebody, that it'll be so positively, like there'll be a positive effect in that person, and he will definitely in his lifetime he will do it once because he received that help.
Yeah.
So it's all paid forward. Yeah, that's true.
It also depends on the nature of the person. Like personally for me, I'm also a bit of a giving person.
You are?
Like if someone does some favor to me, I always want to return the favor somehow. Until I do that, like I won't be happy. Right.
Yeah.
So if you're dealing with such person, definitely you're gonna get more in return.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. So I think we've discussed so many things, but still there's so many things to discuss.
Are you running out of time?
Yeah, no, actually, there's plenty of time, but the thing is, there's people waiting for us. So we have to wrap up soon. Let's talk about, surrendering your ego. Let me start with you, Deki, because, you follow Buddhism, and that's one of the teachings of Buddha, like to have that, sacrifice, sacrifice your ego, surrender your ego, whatever you might say, to forgive, forget, and then that's how you have an impact.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can say it for myself, but again, it's not right or wrong. When I was younger, when you're younger, you have egos, because you obviously want to be the best of the best. And then as you grow older, like I've matured to, like I'm a mother now, and then all my experiences as a mother, as well as being of age and life experiences, what I've learned is, when you're angry, so if your ego gets hurt, you get angry.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you get angry, and then you throw your anger to the rest of your family as well, and they have no idea why you're angry, and I think that the ego is the root of all evils, I feel. So it is hard to let go of your ego, to say let it be, it's okay. It's very hard, but I think it comes with time and age and experience as well. So if you still have ego, like some of you, if you still have ego, maybe it's a matter of time where you think ego is not the biggest thing. So one thing I know I learned in my life is, in all these years, is not to think you're better than the other person. The moment you think you're better than the other person, then all these egos and all these bad thoughts come to you. So if you can just tell yourself that, look, I can be as good as the other person and be happy in other person's happiness, that I think that will help you not have that ego issue with you.
So basically, you don't compare yourself with others.
Yeah. And if somebody's saying a hurtful thing or a rude thing, for that moment, as human beings, like we react, I think it's just, again, when after you're learning meditation, and you are much calmer, you calm yourself down before reacting to a situation. So I think it'll be much better than you don't have that issue at all of having an ego.
Okay, right. Like we've been brought up by this saying that, especially if you are a male, if you don't have ego, then you're like a snake without a poison. So that's actually, we've been brainwashed to think like that. So that's why I think
that is self-respect.
Yeah.
That is self-respect.
I like listening to spiritual gurus, even if I don't follow particular one. So I listened to one of the gurus, and then he was mentioning about we have good ego and bad ego. So good ego is something that you can be a better version of yourself. Yes, I can do it. I can be better version of yourself. So that's a good ego. But that good ego, you're becoming better version, not to put anyone down, but to become better than you were before, so that you can give your best to your family or friends or society in a larger sense. Now the bad ego is something that you are saying, I want to become the best, because like I am up here and everyone is down here. So that's the bad ego. However, even the bad ego is there. The main result of having bad ego, of what the spiritual guru said, was that's because there is something hurt in that person. That ego comes because of some kind of lack of confidence or insecurity, or a lack of self-worth is the result of that bad ego. If someone is self-confident or they have the self-worth, they know they can handle A, B, C, D in any situation, or they can handle themselves, there's no need to bring that bad ego out and put other people down. It's a lack of self-respect or self-worth is the result of bad ego. Then that guru continued saying, then the purpose of our life, that we are as a human being here, is to connect with the good ego and that spiritualism within us, the soul, the lightness within us. That's the purpose of our life. Whether we do that in the few minutes of our deathbed, sometimes that's why when people are about to die, they are like, oh, I'm sorry, forgive me. Why? Because the few minutes of that, they realized, oh my God, that ego was so useless. So whether that person, he or she, will realize in the end time of the deathbed, or he or she will realize now when they are alive, it's their karma again. So not all ego are bad. there's good ego that you can utilize it well to bring yourself in a better version that will help you, your family, your friends, but not to put them down. There's a bad ego, but eventually the purpose of life, it will direct you in certain ways that eventually you will lose that bad ego. Now it's your karma in what way you will, or what sort of difficulties or what you will face to lose that ego. That's your life journey. But eventually you will sacrifice that, or you will let go of that.
Right.
So it's only the matter of when.
You know, there's also this one psychologist said that some people who have a lot of ego, like narcissist people, you know, they think that they know everything.
Yeah.
But one thing they don't know is what they don't know.
Yes. They don't know. It's like the karma. It might sound airy fairy, but then the karma is piling up for them. You know.
Yeah.
And one day it will be, and then it depends on the person, whoever is, like what he or she can do, so that they don't come into that state.
I had a little lesson of karma as well.
Yeah, my grandma used to say that, you know, if you don't have bad days, you won't know the value of good days.
Yeah.
So that's why you need a mix of both in your life.
Yeah.
Yes, and sometimes the bad situation also happen because that is because universe or whoever is looking after us wants you to be stronger. That's because that's your potential. You are meant to be this strong, but then somehow you weren't that strong. So the situation comes, and then you handle that situation, but you think it was bad. But then if you think about it, because of that situation, I'm more strong now, like mentally or physically or however the situation was.
Yeah.